Today as well, we warn the enemy that if they once again resort to aggression and once again become afflicted with a miscalculation, in the way that they were in the past and now in fact are enduring and paying for the price of those past mistakes, if the enemy once again becomes afflicted with a miscalculation and resorts to aggression against our country, they will certainly face other surprising options. These options, in addition to being the determination and will of our colleagues and comrades in the armed forces, will be more advanced equipment and renewed and new methods of war, and perhaps most importantly of all, new arenas of war. Meaning that the war will enter an arena that the enemy did not predict.
Is war erupting right before Chinese President Xi Jinping's critical meeting with world leaders? As Iran's military posture across the region turns deadlier by the hour with escalating deployments and aggressive signaling? President Trump just blasted the Iran nuclear deal as total garbage in a fiery statement. And only hours later, Iran's elite IRGC released a video of a massive war drill flexing its muscle right around the capital of Tehran. Tehran is now fully on a war footing amid soaring tensions, as the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps boldly declares complete combat readiness with forces mobilizing aggressively around the capital. The IRGC's provocative new Martyred Commander drill appears to be intensely preparing its forces for potential direct confrontation with the United States, honoring fallen leaders while simulating high-stakes battles. Iran is dramatically expanding its territorial claims over the vital Strait of Hormuz, vowing with fierce determination to teach a lesson to any nation daring to challenge its control over this crucial waterway. Iran's freshly unveiled Hormuz doctrine is igniting global fears of total control over the world's most critical energy route, potentially choking off oil supplies and sending shockwaves through international markets. Iran's IRGC Tehran unit has just wrapped up a massive 5-day combat exercise, emerging with full operational readiness across all fronts amid skyrocketing regional tensions. The intense Martyred Commander drill spanned every corner of Tehran's operational zones, rigorously testing forces through relentless day-night war scenarios simulating real battlefield chaos. IRGC forces carried out the entire exercise under the powerful codeword Labbaik Ya Khamenei, a direct homage to Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei that underscores unwavering loyalty in times of crisis. Brigadier General Hassan Hassanzadeh has officially confirmed that every single combat tactic, maneuver, and drill during the exercise was successfully tested and perfected to lethal standards. The IRGC boldly declared that this exercise has dramatically strengthened their capabilities to counter any aggressive movements from the so-called American-Zionist enemy threatening Iran's sovereignty. All this unfolds as Iran aggressively expands its definition of the Strait of Hormuz into a vast new military operational zone, redrawing maps and asserting dominance over key maritime choke points. The IRGC now claims the Hormuz zone stretches expansively from Jask in the east all the way to Siri Island in the west, a bold territorial grab that's making headlines according to the Wall Street Journal. Tehran has issued a stark warning that it absolutely will not tolerate any form of encroachment on Iranian waters or vital national interests, promising swift and severe retaliation. Notably, Iran's parliament speaker has publicly stated that the IRGC stands fully ready to teach a harsh lesson to any aggressor daring to test the nation's resolve in this powder keg moment. A bad strategy and bad decisions always lead to catastrophic bad results, warned Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, Iran's parliament speaker, in a pointed jab at foreign adversaries amid the escalating standoff. This comes right after President Donald Trump outright rejected Iran's latest response to the newest US peace proposal, slamming it in a move that's pouring fuel on the fire of diplomatic breakdown. On May 11th, Trump deemed Iran's counterproposal totally unacceptable in no uncertain terms, before escalating further by branding the entire deal a worthless piece of garbage.
You mentioned that you're already meeting with the generals on Iran. You rejected a deal from Iran over the weekend. Can you tell us anything about that proposal and what, if any, effort was made to break this deal?
Yeah, it was just unacceptable. You know, a lot of people said, well, does he have a plan? Yeah, of course they do have the best plan ever. I mean, Iran has been defeated militarily, totally. They have a little left. They probably built up during this period of time. We'll knock that out in about a day. But I have a plan. You know, it is a very simple plan. I don't know why you don't say it like it is. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They're very dangerous. They're very volatile. It's a terrible thing that's happened over there. They've killed 42,000 people in the last 2 months. 42,000. At least that's what we know of. 42,000 people. They killed numerous people over the last week, but they killed 42,000 people a month and a half ago. They were unarmed protesters, not at all violent protesters, and they started taking them out, shooting them. So we're not going to let them. That's the plan. You know, people say, "What's the plan?" The plan is very simple. The blockade, first of all, was a part of military genius, just like Venezuela was military genius. We have the greatest military of the world by far, and we're stocked up with great ammunition. We have much better stuff than we did 2 months ago when we first did the attack, which knocked them for a loop. But very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It can't have it. And if they did have it, the Middle East would be gone, Israel would be gone, and they'd hit Europe probably next. We're doing the service to the world. And this has gone on for 47 years. Other presidents and leaders of other countries that have the power should have done it, but they didn't do it. But it's a very simple plan. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and they didn't want to go that far. If you can believe it, they didn't. How stupid. Are they stupid people? They didn't want to believe it. They think that, well, I'll get tired of this, or I'll get bored, or I'll have some pressure. But there's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. We're going to have a complete victory. We've already, in theory, had a complete victory from the military standpoint. The military, look, their Navy is dead. They had 159 ships. Right now they have 0, other than the little speedboats that go around that got taken out 8 a day by us. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft. Now, they probably put the shoulder jobs into service over the last 3 weeks, probably. But essentially, they have no anti-aircraft, they have no radar. And frankly, their leaders have been killed at the first level, second level, and half at the third level. And then they come back and they want to negotiate, and they give us it's a stupid proposal. And nobody would take it, although Obama would have taken it, Biden would have taken it. What they took was far worse. So we stopped them twice. We stopped them when I terminated the worst deal probably ever made in the history of our country in terms of defense. That was the Iran nuclear deal by penned by Barack Hussein Obama. That would have given Iran a nuclear weapon within a year. They would have had it years ago. I terminated that in my first term. And then when that beautiful plane right there hit them hard, we really hit them hard. And they told me, I want to just tell you this because they like to say, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that hard a hit. Iran told me very strongly, because they intend to give us the nuclear dust, as I call it. It's easier than talking about other terms because it's a term everyone knows. But the nuclear dust, which is what we hit, they told me, number one, you're getting it, but you're going to have to take it out because the site was so obliterated that there's only 1 or 2 countries in the world that could get it. It's so deep and got hit so hard that there's no way they have the equipment to move it. You and China are the only 2 countries in the world that could take it out. So we talked about it, and they said, you'll have to take it out because we don't have the capability of doing it. So for those people that like to say that those great pilots in those great planes, well, we just ordered 22 more of them, new and improved, that those great pilots didn't do their job. They did their job. At 1 o'clock in the morning with no moon, no light, no nothing, every single bomb hit its targets. And then, as you know, we shot some incredible things that nobody else has. Nobody has a military like we have. We shot the Tomahawks from a submarine 200 miles away, and that went on top of it. But every one of those, including the Tomahawks, every one of those weapons and shots hit perfectly. And they said to me, just to put it on the record, they said to me, there are only 2 countries in the entire world that could ever get that stuff out of there because we don't have the equipment and nobody else. They said China and the United States. So I just want to let you know, those pilots did an unbelievable job, very dangerous job at 1 o'clock in the morning. Think of it, no moon, no nothing. We had no light, purposely. And every single one of those bombs were right down an air chute in a granite mountain that exploded. And they are unable to get it, even if they wanted to. But we're not going to take a chance, so that's part of the deal.
So, sir, you said they agreed to allow the removal of all their enriched uranium?
Yeah. Well, they did it 2 days ago. They didn't, okay? They did 2 days ago. They said, you're going to have to take it. We were going to go with them. But they changed their mind because they didn't put it in the paper. So when they sent us this document that we waited 4 days for, that should have taken 10 minutes to do, look, very simple. We get that. They guarantee no nuclear weapons for a very long period of time, and a couple of other minor things, but they just can't get there. So they agree with us, and then they take it back. But they said to us that it was so badly obliterated, it was the word they actually used, that was my original word, then it got challenged by some of the fake news. And it wasn't challenged with any knowledge, it was just challenged like they were hoping that this wouldn't have been so successful. No, it was obliterated. We have the greatest military in the world. I built it largely in my first term, and I didn't know I'd be using it quite this much in my second term. But very simply, when they say, does he have a plan? Yeah, I have a plan. The plan is very simple. You know, in war you have to change, you have to be flexible, you have a lot of plans, but you have to do different plans in different days. But I have a great plan. But the plan is they cannot have a nuclear weapon. And they didn't say that in their letter.
Mr. President, given the leadership changes that you've talked about in Iran, is this still a leadership that you believe you can negotiate with and ultimately reach a peace
I think
deal
so.
with?
Well, you have two. You have the moderates and you have the lunatics. And I think the moderates are more respected. The lunatics want to fight till the end. You know, it'll be a very quick fight. But I call them. You have, just like our country, we have lunatics too. I call them lunatics. I call them stupid people too. But in Iran, they have the moderates that dying to make a deal, and then you have the lunatics. And I guess they're a little bit afraid of the lunatics, but and why not? The level of ferocity for protest. You know, the people are watching it. They want to go out on the streets. They have no weapons. They have no guns. We thought the Kurds were going to give us weapons, but the Kurds disappointed us. The Kurds take. They have a great reputation in Congress. Congress says, oh, they fight so hard. No, they fight hard when they get paid. So I'm very disappointed in the Kurds. But they were given, I said it wasn't going to work, by the way. I just have to say it. I disagreed with what they did. They gave it. I said, they'll never get there. And I was right. I like to be right. In this case, too bad. But we sent some guns with ammunition, and they were supposed to be delivered, but they kept it. I said they're going to keep it, but what do I know? I've only been doing this a short period of time. What do I know?
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place?
What?
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place?
You know, it's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support. They understand these are all medical people. Dr. Oz, life support is not a good thing. Do you agree?
Bad prognostic.
I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living.